Hey guys, this is video lesson 5.1 and we are going to learn about integers today. So we're going to start off with a little vocabulary at the top of the page. You should be on page 346 and make sure you're following along with me and following all directions. First off, let's talk about all these words highlighted in yellow. It says positive numbers, their opposites and zeros are called integers. So let me talk about that. Integers are all these numbers you see here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. They are all integers. Now, decimals and fractions are not integers. So they're just the whole numbers and the negative whole numbers and 0. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about a negative integer versus a positive integer. Positive integers are to the right of 0 on a number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the whole numbers. Now, negative integers are to the left of 0 on a number line. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, etc. And 0 is not a positive integer and it's not a negative integer. It's kind of neutral. So 0 is neither positive nor negative. Now, opposites, this is another vocabulary word, are numbers that are the same distance from 0 in opposite directions. So the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. The opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. All right. Now we're going to get started. So here's the first thing you have to do, and it involves writing an integer for a situation and explaining the meaning of 0, which can be tricky sometimes. So let me show you in examples 1 and 2, and then you'll do 3 with me. So 1 and 2, you just have to kind of read along. So in example 1, it says a 10-yard loss. So in this, I'm thinking of football where someone gets hit for a 10-yard loss. So first off, the integer that represents the situation is negative 10. So that answers the first part of it. The reason it's negative 10 is because it was a loss. They went backwards 10 yards. Now, in order to think of what 0 means in this situation, you actually have to write a short phrase for this. You want to think of what a negative and a positive means first. So a negative integer is a loss of yards. A positive integer would be a gain of yards. So in this situation, 0 means neither a loss or a gain. Now, you don't have to write that down because it's already written down. Let me fix that miswriting. Okay, so 0 means neither a loss nor a gain. Now, if you're a football person, you could also say 0 means a line of scrimmage. So the person got hit at the line of scrimmage. Now, in example 2, it says 4 inches of rain above normal. Now, the key word is above. So the integer that represents this situation will be a positive 4. Now notice I don't write a plus sign for a positive 4. It's understood that it's positive without writing it. Now, what would 0 mean? Well, in this case, remember, think of what above, a positive and a negative means. A positive is rainfall above normal. A negative is rainfall below normal. So guess what 0 is? 0 is the normal amount of rainfall. So 0 is the normal amount of rainfall. Okay. Now, in example 3, you're going to do this with me. Okay, so in example 3, it says a deposit of $48 into a savings account. So think of your checkbooks for this one. If you are depositing money, you are increasing your money. So because it represents an increase, the integer is a 48. Now, no, it's positive. I didn't write a plus sign. You don't need to do that. Now, in this situation, the integer 0 represents. All right, let's think about it. So, a positive integer represents a deposit. A negative integer would represent a withdrawal when you take money out of your checking account. So, 0 in this case represents neither a deposit or withdrawal. It's neither of them. All right, so 0, you kind of have to, again, think of what a positive and a negative means to understand what 0 means. Now, down below, we're going to do both parts. It says write an integer for each situation, then explaining the meaning of the word 0 in each situation. So here are your options. 1, you could try A and B on your own, and then we'll go over them. Or 2, if you're not sure about what a 0 represents, you can do these with me. All right, so if you're going to do them on your own, pause, do them, and restart the video. If you want to do them with me, just let the video keep playing. All right, so in A, it says a gain of $2 a share. So this is talking about the stock market, and your stock gains $2 a share. So first off, since it's a gain, think increase, that means your integer is going to be a positive 2. Now, as far as what 0 means, so here's what 0 means. Remember, as I think of what 0 means, I think of what a negative and a positive means. So a positive is a gain of money in a share. Negative would mean you lose money. So 0 means neither a neither a gain nor a loss. So write that down. Okay, neither a gain nor a loss of money. So you could always pause the video and write that because I'm going to continue on with B. Now this says 10 degrees below 0. So first off, the integer, since it's below 0, would mean a negative 10 degrees. So that's your integer. Now, what does 0 mean? So, in order to think of this, let me get it started. 0 means. Now, if it's above 0, it's just above 0 degrees, right? If it's below 0, I mean, 0 doesn't mean a whole lot in here. It's just below 0 degrees. So 0 really just means you're not above 0 or below 0. Okay? Nothing too tricky with that one. Okay, so I wrote that down. Remember, you could pause it before I go on to the next page if you need more time to write it down. Your answer does not have to be the exact words that mine is, though. All right, so on the next page, I actually think this is the easier part of the lesson because you're just graphing numbers on a number line. All right, and in example 4, 5, and 6, they have the number lines drawn for you. So in example 7, it says graph -7 on a number line. Well, this is all you do. You find -7 on a number line and you put a dot on it. Pretty crazy, huh? Now in example 5, it says graph the set of integers at -4 to -1. So here's -4, here's +2, here's -1. And in 6, we have a vertical number line. It says graph the set of integers 0, 2, and 3. So 0 is here, positives are above at 2, and negatives are below at -3. All right, so your job is to do C and D on your own. Now, C is right here. D you have to do over on the vertical number line. Okay, pause the video. Be careful because I do notice some people make silly mistakes because they rush through this. So be very careful that you don't make a silly mistake. Okay, do C and D. Pause the video. Restart it when you're done. Go. Okay, so for C, here's what you should have. So -3 is right here. I'm going to put a dot. 0 is right here. -2 is right here. And a +4 is right here. So check that your dots are in the right spot. Now for D, we're going to do it on the vertical number line. So I have the integers already written so I don't have to scroll back and forth. So notice though, in a vertical number line, all the positives are on top. They're all the positives and all the negatives are down below 0. All right, so we have +8 right here, -6 right here, -9 is between -8 and -10. Be careful with that one, so check your book carefully. And a +5 is between 4 and 6. All right, told you that wouldn't be too hard. Now on to the last page. We're just going to do the same thing but in a real-world example. So these are a lot easier than you think. So first off, let's read the problem and circle some stuff. Elena and her dad played golf on 4 different days. The data set -1, +1, -3, +2 shows Elena's scores in relation to par. Graph the scores, then explain the meaning of 0 in this situation. And I'll show you this one because if you don't know anything about golf, you won't know what par means or what 0 means. So, first off, when you graph them, you have your -1 and your +1, your -3, and your +3. Or I'm sorry, your +2. So in golf, par is the word they use for a typical score, an average score on that hole. So if you have a negative score, that's actually a good score in golf because that means it took you fewer shots to get the ball in the hole. If you have a positive score, you're above par, that means you took more shots than average to get the ball in the hole. So in this one, we graph the dots. Not too hard. You put dots on a number line. Anyone can do that. But explain the meaning of 0. So in golf, remember positives are above par, negatives are below par. So guess what? The integer 0 represents par. and par is just the word for the average score on that hole. All right, so real-world examples. Just don't forget to explain the meaning of 0 when you're doing the problems on your own, or you won't get full credit. So if you were absent, you probably have these problems down below to do, I'm pretty sure. So as always, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask me. Later.